Hello my love, and welcome back to day 13 of the 111 day Mind, Body, Soul series. I am so very excited to have you here. If you don't know who I am yet, hi, I'm Kylie Nell. I am a business, life, and healing mentor, as well as a trauma-informed energy healer, rebellious old soul of the internet. I've made it my mission in this lifetime to help women divinely heal generations, to heal generational trauma, heal their trauma within this lifetime so they can divinely step into their sovereign power. And today we're diving into day 13 of this 111-day experiment that I've started. My YouTube is kind of my space to share the golden nuggets, hold myself accountable, and we are on part 2 of a 2-part series on embodiment. So if you want to catch part 1, that's going to be in day 12, and this is obviously the second code to mastering embodiment. And yesterday we really spoke about like why embodiment is so important, especially as you want to call in dreams and desires and create this new life for yourself, as well as the first nugget to embodiment. And today we're going to step into the second one, which I feel like is even more confronting, but in the best way possible, because when it really lands for you and you allow it to truly land, it's like it opens up so much. So in yesterday's episode, we did a short meditation to connect you to your higher self and to connect you to this version that you can now see that you want to become, and who is she? Like, how can you embody more of her and bring her into your life? And so in this process of bringing it in, I want you to see this as like a symbiotic relationship. On one hand, you're going to work on like actually creating the support structure, and that's the masculine part, right? You're going to be creating the support structure to allow this version of you to drop in and to give her the room and space. It's like kind of giving yourself the canvas so that you can paint. And as you're busy doing that and you're bringing in that support structure and those things in the foundations, it's almost like the preparations for you to be able to pull this version in and embody it. I now want to like really drop in that second code and ask you, do you believe this is even all possible for you? But really like sit with that, because I feel like there's a level of belief, this level of believability that really goes like deep into your heart center. It really goes deep into your core. Like I can feel it sits here. It's like, it's fucking deep. And that level of believability is something we have very generous access to as children. We have that same level of believability as children because of the way we play. When we literally play, and I think this is why it's so important for children to play in like role, like imagine you're whatever you wanted to be when you grow up. If you wanted to be like a vet or a doctor, or you wanted to be an astronaut, or like you play pretend, like those, we have access to like that level of believability, that in that moment we're that firefighter, in that moment we're that superhero, in that moment when we're playing with our dolls, we're literally like so immersed. It's so fucking real what's happening in that moment for us. In that moment we're literally, I'm thinking of myself playing, like pretending to be a Power Ranger, and I would literally like play Power Ranger after watching it in my garden and like feel like I'm like doing all these like grand things, and like it's just like I can feel it in my core. And that believability, that transparency that we have in connecting to, this is what I see for my life, this is what I see in this moment for like my vision, this is who I want to be, and just instantaneously becoming that version. There's no doubt, there's no like, ooh, but I don't have like the cool like gadgets that I see on TV, so I can't be like, you know, like the Powerpuff Rangers, or I can't be, I don't know, even Ariel came to mind right now because I used to love like the Little Mermaid just for like her red hair and being in the ocean and all these things. So I'm like, I don't have like the mermaid tail, so I can't be the mermaid in the ocean. Like as adults, we start to create these conditions for ourselves on as to why we can't be something and why we can't have this thing into our reality. Whereas children, we have this unbiased believability in ourselves. this unbiased believability that whatever we desire can be ours, and that we are that thing right now, right here, in like this very moment. And as we grow up, as life expands and unfolds, we lose sight of this believability. We lose touch with this like core deep ability to just see this version of yourself and tap into it and be like, the world is my oyster. Like, of course I'm that person. And this is really key to embodiment. And I want you to really sit with this. Like, even if you pause this episode and like write this down and really sit with it and like grapple with it, unless you even like re-listen to this, but I really want this to land for you, because when it landed for me, I was sitting outside having like my lemon water and I was watching like the sunrise, and it dropped in for me so hard, which was funny because literally the day before I was grappling with this case of embodiment, and do you actually allow yourself to show up and to do the things that this next level version of you is doing. And literally the next day I was sitting there and I was like, holy shit. But do you actually believe this is all possible for you? Like, do you actually wholeheartedly believe that this is all possible for you? My little puppy is sitting here behind me. Hey, Zorro. Hey, baby. Like, do you believe this is all possible for you? And the moment I had that question dropped in, I was like, oh, damn. Where is my believability? Like, where is my believability with this dream, with who I want to become, with this version I'm now becoming? Like, do I fully believe that I can be that? Do I fully believe that it is possible for me? Am I like showing up with the believability of like play pretend when I was a little girl and I was like, holy shit, I am that Power Ranger and I am slaying all the baddies out there? Or am I waiting for something externally to validate and define that believability for me? Which I feel like is such a confronting question, because we live in a day and age in a society which I think is so fucking fascinating, because this is the crux of a lot of our turmoil and self-sabotage, is we are literally not allowing ourselves to fully step into the believability that this is possible for us. We don't have that inner child connection anymore to sit down and be like, holy shit, I am. Like, who are you? I am an energy healer. I am a channeler. I am a wild, rebellious, soft, feminine woman. I am duality. I'm all the things. I am. And to be able to fully sink into that knowing of who you are, but not requiring anything outside of you to validate that you can now become this woman. Like, where are you still waiting for the permission slips? And why are you still waiting for the permission slips? Now, you might be thinking like, what is my permission slip? And I want you to dive into that. Like, is that permission slip in your business? Is it money? Are you waiting for a certain amount of money in your bank account? Are you waiting for a certain experience to drop in? Whether it's when you're launching, whether it's how quickly your business builds or your income grows. Are you waiting for someone to say something? Like, are you waiting for some achievement? Like, what are you waiting for in your external reality to validate and give you the permission that you can now become her? And when you have that realization, you'll suddenly realize that wherever you've been holding on to that need for validation, that need for permission, is also the part where you're most likely experiencing a lot of turmoil right now and a lot of self-sabotaging patterns. If you find that like you're holding on to waiting for a certain amount of money in your reality, or having a certain amount of savings in your bank account so you can have a certain experience with money to feel valid in what you're doing, you most likely find that your greatest turmoil, your greatest self-sabotage, your greatest area in your life where you experience like this tumultuous up-down roller coaster period is your finances. Are you waiting for a partner? Are you waiting for a certain experience of love to validate that the inner work that you've been doing is working, to validate the decisions you've made in the past to leave relationships that weren't serving you. Are you waiting for a relationship for someone to tell you I love you, to hold you, to validate that you've now become a healed woman and that you're only available for a certain standard of love? Like, where are you waiting for validation? Because in that element, like, it's such an important thing, because on one hand, wherever you're waiting for validation, it's showing you directly where your patterns of self-sabotage is, but it's also showing you directly that your believability and your possibility of this is not fully there. You're not fully backing yourself up. Your believability isn't fully there. And so you're waiting for something outside of you to validate and recognize that you can have this. As opposed to sitting back and being like, holy shit, I am worthy and deserving of this either way. I don't need anything to validate this for me. And this is really an important code for like part 2 of the embodiment. Is your like believability there? Do you full-heartedly believe this is possible for you? And if you're struggling to like tune in to be like, oh, do I fully believe this is possible for me? Are you actually using anything outside of you to give you the validation you need that you're on the right track? Or can you internally validate yourself and be like, I know that I'm on the right path because I can feel it. And I don't need anything outside of me to validate, to show that I'm on the right path, because you know what, I can feel I am on the right path. This is where I'm meant to be. And really being able to anchor this in anchors in such a strong code for embodiment, because immediately you start showing up with this forward relentless momentum that just keeps going, because you're not waiting for anything in your reality, in your world, to validate it for you. You've got the vision, you've got the goal, and you're pursuing it, you're manifesting it. And that's where it becomes really powerful. So my loves, let me know in the comments if you've, especially like this 2-part series on embodiment within the 111-day mind, body, soul experiment is so potent. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And with that, I will see you soon. Bye for now.